kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds, and when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me.
Welcome everybody into Sim Racing Media. Tonight we are back at it with the Racers Elite Truck Series live from Nashville. We're in the NASCAR trucks, but we are not at the Super Speedway. We are hanging out at the Fairgrounds, getting ready for some short track racing. These guys just wrapped up practice, are headed in to begin their qualifying laps. See who's out on track first. Looks like Dennis Kane in that number 4 Subway machine is going to be the first one to tip out here. We'll see how fast he can go. Talking to these guys throughout the week, it looked like they were had some practice laps, but the trucks were a little bit looser. And from talking to them this evening here, it seems that we've kind of got it dialed in a little bit here as Dennis Kane goes 1886, fastest on track right now. Jesse Fox, new man to the league here, working his first lap in 1894. Like David Davis is rolling through 3 and 4, completing his first lap. And doesn't look like it gave him a time. Looks like he might just not be going quite fast enough. Let's see. Corey Crowell just finished his first lap in 19 18:16. Jesse Fox and Dennis Kane bettered their time just a little bit. 18:77 for Kane. Fox with an 18:79. David Davis didn't get a time. Crowell here completing his second lap. Let's see how fast he goes this time. 19:11. Kinsley Smith, first lap, 18:92. Good enough for third place at the moment. These laps are going to wind up quick, fast, and in a hurry, as he's already done with lap number 2. See if he went faster. He went 18:92 or 18:95, so a little bit slower that time. Daniel Honeycutt in that 72 Mahindra Ford jumps up to top of the board with an 18:40 on his first lap, coming out of 3 and 4. Let's see what he goes this time by. Well, a little bit slower, 18:43, but still, either lap would have got him the pole so far. Michael Smith in that 45 machine out on track, completing his second lap with an 18:76, jumps up to P2. Eric Jensen in that 88 Chevy, working his way through 3 and 4, coming to the start finish line on his out lap. See what he can do with his first qualified run here. First lap, 18:77, good enough for P3. Pretty much runs identical time to Dennis Kane. Thousandths of a second separate them. Second lap for Jensen, a little bit slower, 18:89. Joshua Neal in that 82 USS machine. Looks like he is just gonna jump back to the pits. We'll see if he's gonna be able to complete a lap here. They do have a little over 5 minutes left to complete it, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4 guys out on track at the moment, or that need to get out on track if they want to throw down a qualifying time. While we're doing this, I do want to throw out a big thank you and shout out to the other 2 broadcasters that were able to jump in here and get this league covered while we at SRM were dealing with the loss of one of our own here. Just amazing that we're able to do that. Austin John Smith gonna get out on the track. First lap, 18:44, good enough for P2 right now. We'll see if he can jump up into second place here. Second lap, 18:95, so nothing really doing. He was last week's winner when we were at Homestead, Miami. Joshua Neal was second. Dennis Kane was third, but Austin Smith just dominated the race, led 93 of the 101 laps. Only had 5 lead changes with 4 leaders. Guys are running the old style of points here, so you lead a lap, you get 5 bonus points. You lead the most laps, you get 5 more. So looking at Joshua Neal, has competed 2 times, but he is sitting at the top of the board. He's earned 15 bonus points in his 2 races. He's got 355. Andrew Teft also has 300 55, and Jake Van Wazer up there with 350. It looks like Jake's gonna miss this week, so interesting to see. It looks like we might have Andrew Teft getting out on track at 98 Cincinnati machine. Good thing it's not the colors of the Bengals after that disastrous of a showing on Sunday. And as I was saying, JP Broadcasting, thanks for helping us out there for a little bit. And the NASRA guy who also helped out on Wednesday and Thursday. So thank you guys for helping us out and letting these guys get broadcasted. The first time, 1872. Will he go faster this time? 1857 was faster, but not fast enough to jump up any positions, as he is still P3 right now. Daniel Honeycutt sitting on the provisional pole with an 1840. Austin Smith with an 1844. So not too much time separating either of those guys. Alex, that first time, 1876. See if he can go faster this second time by. Just fast enough to get in front of brother Andrew there with a 1854. Like there's only one driver that has not made it to the track yet. David Davis made a couple qualifying attempts, but didn't make any clean laps, as it scored him having 2 laps, but none counted, and Joshua Neal as well. Like Gary Madud's the only one left to go. If he's ready to roll out here. In 4 seconds, he's not gonna matter anyway. So let's see what happens once we jump over to the race session. We'll see if take a look at the weather and the race itself here. Let's out of here. So the race info for tonight, it is a little over half mile. This is round number 4 from the Nashville Fairgrounds. We've got 150 laps, 4 sets of tires laying in the pits as they get gridded up here. Take a look. So we got the Mahindra 72 Ford of Daniel Honeycutt taking on the pole position, just as his outside Austin John Smith, last week's winner. When we go back to the Teft brothers, Alex and Andrew, they both start in row 2. Row 3 is Michael Smith and Eric Jensen. Jesse Fox and Dennis Kane round out row 4. Row 5 is Jeremy Carter and Kinsley Smith, Joshua Neal and Corey Crowell. In row 6, David Davis is going to jump on here. Looks like Gary's not going to make it from north of the border tonight. So that is the field as they roll through here. So Daniel Honeycutt got that 72 Mahindra out there, out front and on the pole. See how he's going to handle it once we get rolling here. Austin Smith just to his outside. Going to look to try and take advantage early and get out in front. Coming down the backstretch here. Pace truck should pull in this time by. Pace truck is in. Daniel Honeycutt with the button locked and loaded, and he is down, and we are underway here at Nashville. Honeycutt jumps out in front, slides up in front of Austin Smith. Alex Teff gets in front of Andrew, and Michael Smith single files out. Kinsley Smith is down on the inside. We're seeing if that line's going to kind of work here as Dennis Kane comes off the wall in front of like Eric Jensen there. Smith and Fox are kind of battling out here as they got a little side by side. Kinsley's running a little bit different line. He seems to be favoring just a couple pass off of the wall as he slides in line here. Ooh, Michael Smith goes sideways right in front of the back half of the field. That's going to bring out caution here on lap number 3. Back and take a look here, see what happened. Coming down the front stretch, everything looks all right. And then he looks like he just gets a little bit too much speed, winds up sliding sideways. Dennis Kane tries to avoid him, gets caught up, as does Jesse Fox there. And we are stacked back up, ready to go once again here. Like everybody involved except for Fox made their way down pit lane. You can take a look here at the nose of that Dollar General Chevy here. A little crinkled up there. Maybe it's not too bad. He has up into 8th position right now. Biggest mover so far is Joshua Neal, able to avoid the carnage there and improve up 5 spots here, sitting P7. Looks like they're going to get stacked back up here. Maybe the lights are still on, so got at least one more lap here. Thanks, Andrew, for that welcome back there. Daniel Honeycutt checking in on the chat. Looks like he wants this race to get over quick, fast, and in a hurry as he has a storm headed his direction. And with the way that 72 Mahindra is driving, I would want it to get over pretty quick here as well so I don't lose power and cost myself a W here. But we're 7 laps in. Pace truck's going to make that left-hand turn. We are racked and stacked and ready to roll. Daniel Honeycutt makes his way to the Geico restart zone, and he is down and away. Gets a pretty good restart once again, slides up in front of Smith there. It looks like Andrew and Alex are going to kind of battle very shortly here. Kinsley Smith on the back bumper. Looks like Joshua Neal goes down to the inside, going to try and make his way around the 69 of Jesse Fox, but Fox seems to have a little bit faster truck in that high line. The 20 machine of Corey Correll is trying to pick which guy he wants to follow as he's been bouncing back and forth between Neal and Fox. Back behind them we have Jeremy Carter, Dennis Kane, and David Davis is rolling back here a little ways. Michael Smith lap down after getting past there early. These guys are definitely throwing down some pretty quick laps. 18:50, 18:49 for the 2 leaders, as they have got a couple seconds on the field right now. Andrew Teft able to get by Alex, and here they go, battling it out a little ways here. Truckl and Fox are also side by side. Back in line they go, single filed out for a little ways. Looks like Smith is just running a little bit different line than Teft and Jensen. Ooh, Smith goes sideways, and caution is out on the racetrack. Looks like Kinsley Smith might have been just coming in a little too hot, tapped those brakes, and around he went. That goes down to the inside of Teft there, coming down the backstretch. And right here, you're going to see him just almost looks like he gets on the brakes there and goes sideways. Jump on board here with Jensen. Just a little out of sorts there. Luckily, he was able to get by. So under caution once again. Now, this is the Racers Elite Truck Series. Once again, while we are getting back into the groove of things here at Sim Racing Media, I do want to thank Racers Elite. They're going to name the trophies that they give away at the end of the season for each of their series. They're going to name them the Tony Trapasso trophies. So even though Tony only broadcasts these guys for a few weeks, he definitely would appreciate that, and of course all of us at Sim Racing Media do as well. This is definitely not something the 2 leaders wanted to see. They were out to a couple second lead. I'm assuming we're going to have at least a few pit stops here. These guys usually run a little shorter stint as far as a fuel cell goes, kind of shake up the race a little bit, a little more action and strategy. But we are racked and stacked and ready to roll once again. Coming down the backstretch, Pace Truck will make that hard left-hand turn. Daniel Honeycutt has the field under his control. Gets that restart zone. He is down and away. Not quite the restart he had before, but good enough to get out in front of Smith there. Andrew Teft holding on. Looks like Jensen and Neal are going to be battling back here. And look at that 20 machine also moving up, and Neal as well. They got a pretty good run on that restart as they're double filed back here with Kinsley Smith, Dennis Kane, Jesse Fox, and Jeremy Carter in that 26 machine. Still side by side is Kane and Fox. Kane up on the high line, not really where you want to be, coming through the corner, see if he can get in line here. Looks like he's not going to be able to, as Jeremy Carter takes the inside line away. Kinsley Smith's been running down there quite a bit as well, trying to force Jesse Fox to stay up in that high line. Side by side is Kane and Carter. Single file out now. See if Dennis Kane's gonna stay up. It stays up 2 pass or so. Trying to run his way around the track. Back up front though, it's still Daniel Honeycutt and Austin Smith. These guys rolling through here pretty quickly. They've got Carter back out to almost 2 seconds over Andrew and Alex Teft here. Joshua Neal a little ways back as well. Kane and Carter are battling pretty tough here for a little bit. And now Kane is going to have Kinsley Smith all over his back bumper as well. See if there's any more action out on track as these guys kind of starting to get a little spread out here, which can happen at a short track like Nashville. These guys are staying pretty good here. Go on board here with the 23 Chevy of Austin Smith. Honeycutt's pulling a little bit of a gap. He's out to a little over 3/10 of a second, almost 4. I'm assuming these guys are going to have to come into pit somewhere in the neighborhood of 60 laps or so. Usually they try and get, a couple, make a couple pit stops mandatory, unless you can stretch it out a little bit. It doesn't look like lap traffic's going to play a part for quite a little while. We do have Michael Smith and David Davis kind of battling back here towards the 12-second or so mark. Leaders are running about 18, so they got 5 or so seconds. So we'll see how long that takes them working through here. Once again, thanks everybody for joining us out there on YouTube. We're glad to be back here broadcasting the Racers Elite Truck Series here on Tuesday night. Got a couple more races going on tonight as well as Tuesday night trucks. Jump off here momentarily and then we'll go out west to the Western States Racing League. You can catch me there probably about an hour after this race finishes here. On track here, looks like Jesse Fox and Eric Jensen kind of battling, one of the closer battles on track as well. Michael Smith getting by David Davis. And you can see out the back there, Honeycutt and Smith are closing ground pretty quickly here. Go ahead and jump on the nose of Honeycutt. You can see how close he is to catching this lap traffic. Out the back off of Honeycutt's machine there. You see the gap he is built into Austin Smith. As he goes down to the inside to get by David Davis here. Davis stays high. See if Austin Smith's able to get by. Yes, he does. Andrew Teff going to be coming up pretty quickly. We'll see if he's going to be able to catch him at the right time as Austin Smith catches Michael Smith in the corner and allows Daniel Honeycutt to get out to almost a second now. Andrew Teff gets by Davis. Michael Smith staying high up there. If he's going to be able to get by, and he will. Looks like Alex Teff might have a little bit harder trouble as Michael Smith and David Davis are kind of battling for position here, but Davis gets by Smith and Teff is able to go down to the inside and make that pass and close that door as David Davis gets into that outside wall just a little bit, but up front, it is all Daniel Honeycutt. Anybody's even close anymore. It looks like they're definitely filing out here. Joshua Neal back about 5.5 seconds on Alex Teff, still inside the top 5, sitting P5 right now. Truckl and Harder 6th and 7th. Dennis Kane has been able to make up a couple positions here, up to 8th right now. Eric Jensen Jesse Fox back in 10th. Kinsley Smith is getting passed here by Daniel Honeycutt. Honeycutt down to the inside. Able to make pretty quick work there of Smith. Andrew Teff starting to slowly creep in here on the back of Austin Smith. Going to be one of the closer battles for position on track right now. Austin staying up high, gonna let Andrew take the low side. Andrew makes that pass for second place. We'll see if he's able to clear off, and he does. Dennis Kane down pit lane. That's the other thing about this place. You really don't see pit entry really until you're almost on top of it. One of the harder ones to get around here, especially being short track racing, trying to get as much as you can. Dennis Kane on his way out of the pits. Kinsley Smith down the pit lane. Like I said, these guys try and get at least a couple pit stops in to play with some strategy and what have you there. As Daniel Honeycutt makes another pass on a lap car. Jesse Fox now one lap down and in that lucky dog position. Let's take a look at something real quick, because you know, Austin's not saving as much fuel as he was trying to do last week, so probably definitely have at least a couple pit stops. Don't believe anybody's probably going to be able to stretch it twice for 15 laps, but you never know. Honeycutt is starting to slowly come back towards Andrew Teft here. Yep, it's still about a second or so. Austin Smith's about a second back from Teft as well. But he's got quite the cushion. About 2 seconds back to Alex Teft. Kinsley Smith made his pit stop on lap 54. Gonna try and race his way back up to the lead lap. And you go down pit lane, you spend about 40 seconds on pit lane, so you effectively lose 2.5, almost 3 laps. We'll see what happens once these guys make their pit stops and everybody cycles through. Jeremy Carter is the next car in front of Daniel Honeycutt on the lead lap. Ooh, as Honeycutt gets loose, Teft goes down to his inside, going to try and make the pass here as they're coming up on a lap car as well. Honeycutt slides down in front of Teft, closes the door. Teft gives him a little bump, shoots him up the track. But Honeycutt gets going and We stay green as Teft starts to go around, and he is sideways. No caution comes out, though, as Austin John Smith heads down pit lane. Andrew Teft loses one position as Alex makes the pass, but he heads down pit lane. Probably not when he expected to hit pit lane, but down pit lane he goes nonetheless. And Daniel Honeycutt heads down there as well. Eric Jensen in. Crowell and Carter are going to be battling for that point, and Corey Crowell will get the point for leading the lap. Looks like somebody went sideways here. Let's see who that was. Oh. Austin John Smith. Got the 4 fresh tires and just dipped down below that yellow line. Got on the loud pedal a little too soon before he was back straight and winds up sideways here. Didn't really hit anything, so no real damage to speak of there. Does bring out the caution, and that is going to shake things up just a little bit here. Oh. Well, just got some tragic news here from the 72 camp. Looks like he ran out of fuel. So he is going to call it a night. Being multiple laps down, it's not very likely that he's going to make it back out here, but or make them back up here. He's going to call it a night. Going to have a bunch of drivers taking the wave around. Ooh. How many drivers get the wave around here? That is what I was thinking. Pace car is in. Jesse Fox down to the inside, gonna let these leaders have at it here as 20 machine of Corey Corral gets a jump. Gonna be out in front. The truck we're gonna have to watch now for the rest of the race gonna be that 23 machine of Austin Smith. He was one of the faster trucks out on track. That caution came out at just the wrong time, is gonna cost him his lap and keep him a lap down as he came out after the leaders, so he was not able to take that wave around. So he is racing here to get his lap back to hardware. Burrell on the high side, Smith down low. Smith is going to take that spot and be back on the lead lap. He still has to race basically all the way around the track, but he is now on the lead lap. Dennis Kane becomes effectively the first car a lap down. Jeremy Carter is battling with Kane here. Alex and Andrew can't seem to get enough of each other. Oh, looks like the 72 machine did make it back out. He is 6 laps down as he had to tow to the pits. So he'll be out here and log some laps. Alex and Andrew right next to each other once again on track as per the usual here. As Jeremy Carter is slowly going backwards here. Alex Teff down to his inside. Side by side they go. Honeycutt was able to get by. See if the Teff brothers can make quick work on the low side. Carter still hanging tough in the high line. Andrew trying to get by here. Gets his nose in front. See if he's able to complete the pass coming off of 4. Not quite there, about halfway down the front stretch. Funny machine, biggest mover of the night. Smith is closing. Take a look here from Smith. He's about a corner in front of Burwell here. But Dennis Kane is the next car he needs to pass. Or he is. First car a lap down. But the next car he needs to pass is Michael Smith here. It looks like Jesse Fox is still out on track. Came pit lane on lap 77. He's got about a corner before he catches the tail end of the lap cars here. Honeycutt also checking in the live chat. When he ran out of fuel, apparently his power blinked and went out as well, so luckily he was able to get back in and at least log a few laps here. See these guys and how close they get to that outside wall when they come off of 4. Oh, Alex stepped into the wall just as I went to see where that second place truck was. Well, that makes it easier for Austin Smith to get back to the tail end of the field. Take a look and see what happened here. Should be coming out of 2 here. Oh. Not quite straight when he hit that loud pedal, sent him down into that inside wall. So that's going to shake that up just a little bit. Everybody should bring it down pit side. We'll see how this works out here after everybody gets on and off pit lane. Dennis Kane last came down on lap 72. So he is now currently in second place. Jeremy Carter going in third. Joshua Neal fourth. Andrew Teft fifth. Alex Teft sixth. And Austin John Smith currently running E7. Dennis Kane comes down pit road now. Daniel Honeycutt stays out, gonna take his wave around here. Get one of his 5 laps back. So here we go. Well, with the button down and away, Carter slips up a little bit on an outside lane. And here they go. Neal trying to battle through the bumps through 1 and 2. He is going to hold on to second place. Andrew Teft and Jeremy Carter side by side. Alex Teft and Austin Smith side by side as well. Smith has a lot of ponies under that hood. He's been running up towards the front, slides down in front of Alex Teft, gets right on the rear bumper of Andrew Teft, and they are going to try and push by Jeremy Carter here. Carter is still on the high side of Smith. Side by side still. And we are under caution once again. Looks like Alex Teft. See what happened to Alex here. Just breaks. Kinsley Smith goes by. Nobody touches Alex as he's sitting there spinning. No real damage there as we'll get stacked back up. Inside 50 laps to go here of the Racers Elite Truck Series. Live on Sim Racing Media, I'm Mike Taboni up in the booth once again. Glad to be back with you guys. See what the drivers here of the Racers Elite Truck Series can do with probably going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 45 laps to go once we take that green flag once again. Honeycutt took the wave around last time. This time he's going to head down pit lane, get enough fuel and tires to make it to the end so he doesn't have another fuel issue. Lights probably will go out on the pace truck this time by. Oh, one more lap to go. Thirteen drivers started the race. 13 drivers still involved in the race. We got 8 drivers on the lead lap. Biggest mover, or we'll say biggest movers, are the 20 and 82 who are going to be starting on the front row of this restart. We're going to have Corey Truckl and Joshua Neal side by side up front. Andrew Teft and Jeremy Carter in row 2. Row 3 will be Austin Smith and Dennis Kane. Dennis Kane's done a pretty good job to get back on the lead lap and is running inside the top 6. Chevy Pace truck is down and in pit lane. Truckl has the button. He'll hit that restart zone. And he is down and away. Andrew Teft all over his bumper is going to get up into P2, go to his outside, see if he can make hay while the making's good here. Almost into his back bumper there as he comes off of turn 2. Teft is definitely not laying back this time. Knows he has enough fuel to make it to the end, and he is marching that direction. He knows Austin Smith is behind him as Smith and Neal are battling side by side here for third place. Oh, a little bump there from Neal sends Smith down to the inside. They both gather it in. And we stay green. Neal into the outside wall just a little rub there. But Smith takes advantage in the position. Andrew Teft down to the inside of Truckl. And he is going to be battling side by side for the lead. He will take it coming off of turn 2 here. Austin Smith looking to take P2. Joshua Neal is right on his bumper trying to get up into P3. Smith back up into P2, spent most of the race up there, and he is back once again. Andrew Teft leading the race for the first time tonight in that 98 Ford. And he's got about a half-second lead on Smith. Inside 40 laps to go. Teft and Smith are throwing haymakers. They're both of them running almost a half second faster than the entire field. Teft that time was 1867. Smith was 1855. After Truckl, it's 1893 or higher through the rest of the field. But will Teft be able to hold off? Oh, and we are under caution. Like Jeremy Carter went around in that 24 machine. Let's take a look and see what happened. 26 machine. Yeah, Honeycutt's just down to his inside. Nothing really. Oh, Honeycutt gets turned. So does the 26 there. Let's. See Honeycutt just down to his inside. Honeycutt's coming up. Oh, just thought he was clear and was not. It's right in the wall, and Honeycutt goes backwards. Take a look. Let's see what the 4 machine saw here. Oh, lifts up the 26. The 26 shoots back into the 4 machine, and that is going to be a rough one there. So that is a little interesting here. Austin Smith here did not pit. He pitted on lap 93. Alex Teft lap 101. But Andrew Teft came down. Corey Corral came down. Joshua Neal. Kinsley Smith. Dennis Kane, obviously. And Jeremy Carter, obviously. So that's going to be interesting here as we are going to be close to 30 laps to go or so. But we are stacked up and ready to go. Austin Smith will lead them to the green flag. Alex Teft just is outside. And Andrew Teft back in P2 on the inside lane. Or Corral on the outside lane. Chevy Silverado pace truck hits pit lane, and we are ready to go once again. Austin Smith wastes little time and shoots out to a pretty good lead here. Alex Teft able to hang on to second. Andrew Teft down to the inside of Crowell. And they line up single file now going down the backstretch. Crowell gets loose, goes sideways. See if that's going to bring out a caution, and it will as the field is stacked up. And Dennis Kane once again in the wreck. Looks like a magnet. Everybody gets single filed out here. Everything looks good. Coming off the wall, and he just gets sideways there. You can see him just sliding down, sliding down. Dennis Kane nowhere to go as Eric Jensen's down to his inside. So they will restack him once again. We'll see how they are going to line up here. Austin Smith still up front. Lights are on the pace truck. We got a couple laps left to go, so we're going to be looking at about 25 to go when we get the green flag once again. They are stacked up. We'll have Austin Smith and Alex Teft in row 1. Row 2 is Andrew Teft and Joshua Neal. Kinsley Smith and Jeremy Carter make up row 3. Row 4 is Dennis Kane and Michael Smith. Here they come down the back stretch. Pace truck makes that hard left-hand turn into the pit lane here. Austin Smith with the button once again will lead them to that restart zone. He is down and away. Looks like Andrew Teft spun the tires there, and he is going to get past for third with Joshua Neal. We'll see if he's going to be able to fall in line here. But Kinsley Smith is going to go down to the inside of Carter there. And they are flying here. Carter and Smith side by side. Neither one really given an inch. And it looks like Andrew Teft is all over the back bumper of Joshua Neal. And as I look at that, I see a purple mark on my timing and scoring leader. Austin John Smith just went 18:38. Fastest lap of the race so far. And he is out to over a second lead over Alex Teft. Alex Teft has got to be liking what he's seeing behind him as Andrew and Joshua Neal are battling side by side. Jeremy Carter was able to get by Kinsley Smith and put him in the rearview mirror. Andrew still battling Neal. Like he might be able to clear him coming out of 3 and 4 here. And it looks like he will be able to slide up in front of him. Dennis Kane down to the inside of Smith, but not quite enough speed as Eric Jensen goes to his high side. Jensen's not battling for position, but see what happens here as Joshua Neal is now off the pace. Austin Smith back up front, out to a 2.5 seconds now. Alex Teft, Andrew Teft, second and third. Alex has almost a second gap on brother Andrew here. But they are going to be no match right now with 18 laps to go for Austin Smith here. He is turning this race into a runaway, one corner at a time. Alex and Andrew still can't get enough of each other side by side on the track. We'll see if Andrew's going to be able to get by. Looks like he will. Like Daniel Honeycutt had an issue there. Maybe slowed down to get off the track. Looks like he jumped into the pits. If Andrew is going to have anything left in these last 15 laps for Austin Smith. If we can jump on board here. Let's take a ride around the track here. Jump on board here in the cockpit of Austin Smith. And make a couple laps around this Nashville Fairgrounds racetrack. I'm sure everybody I'm sure everybody was a little nervous when they saw Austin say that the track was lightning fast tonight, basically. Austin finished 7th in the first race here. Missed race 2 and then dominated race 3 at Homestead. See what happens here as he works his way through the final laps of this race. Working his way around, I believe his dad here. Gives son plenty of room to go down to the inside. Might have that backwards, but you know. Andrew's made up a little bit of time, but not near enough. And with 6 laps to go, it's going to be tough to catch him here. Looking at that 98 machine, reminds me that we're Missing the 99 machine. Both the drivers there, Andrew Teft and Kirby Wainscott, try and model their trucks after the real-life counterparts. Three laps to go, soon to be 2 to go. Obstacle sticks in the air. Andrew Teft has a lap and a half to get 2.5 seconds. And Austin Smith is not slowing down at all. White flag in the air. Austin just has final corner to make it through. And he will go back to back here in the Racers Elite Truck Series. Austin John Smith wins at Nashville. Second, Andrew Teft. Third is going to be Alex Teft. Jeremy Carter in fourth, Joshua Neal fifth. Brought that 23 Milwaukee machine into victory lane once again to go back to back here. It's probably going to take over the points lead. We'll see where that all shakes out once we get through this race here and the points are tabulated. See if we can talk to our third place driver here. Hey, Alex, Mike up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, that was a heck of a race. Looked like it was a lot funner than some of you guys might have thought it was going to be from the practice you guys had this week.
Yeah, it's definitely more chaotic than anticipated. It's been a few weeks since we've had, more than like maybe 2 cautions in a race, so definitely made it interesting.
Yeah, it definitely did. But you guys were able to work through that. You were able to come back from a couple incidents there and grab another podium finish. How do you feel about having the Fairgrounds in your rearview mirror now?
Yeah, definitely enjoyed this track. It was obviously we talked about those 2 times I spun out. It was definitely unforgiving at times. You would just kind of snap loose out of nowhere and nothing you could do about it.
Definitely, man. Well, anybody else you want to thank before I let you go?
Yeah, no, thank you guys over at Sim Racing Media for doing the broadcast every week. Thank the league and Racers Elite and all the guys that come out every week and have this nice clean racing. And thank my girlfriend and my friends that watch every week.
Definitely, man. Well, congrats again on P3, and maybe I'll talk to you next week at Vegas.
All right, sounds good.
That was third place. See here if we can. Andrew. Hey, Andrew, Mike up in the booth. How's it going, man?
Hey, Mike. Pretty good. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Looked like you had a pretty fast machine out there.
Yeah, it was all right. Needed to catch the right pattern of cautions or something to get back out front, but yeah, I had fresher tires there at the end, so I thought I kind of had it made, but I had to use a lot of stuff up trying to get third place. So, but yeah, congrats to Austin. He ran a really good race too.
Yeah, definitely. It looked like it was going to be a dramatic battle there before some unfortunate incident happened to Honeycutt, but still, you guys put on a heck of a show. First race that had a caution in a while that I've watched, or had the privilege of broadcasting.
Yeah, I guess Honeycutt had a storm come through, so that was unfortunate because he was pretty fast too. Yeah, I saw a lot of different quick people, some on short runs, some on long runs, but good race overall. I think the stuff we did see was just purely accidental. So
Definitely.
Yeah, good race.
Definitely. Well, anybody want to thank before I let you go?
You as always for doing this, our servicemen and women, everybody that tunes in, everybody that got the race. I lost my headset connection for a second, but yeah, thank you to everybody. And if anybody's interested in racing, just check out racerselite.com.
Definitely, man. Well, congrats again on your P2 finish, and I will talk to you probably later this week.
Thank you, Mike.
Yep. That was Andrew. Get Austin up in the booth here. Hey, Austin, Mike up in the booth. Got a copy?
I got you, Mike. How are you?
Oh, not too bad. Well, another week, I'll call it dominating performance again.
Yeah, I don't know if this one felt like a dominating performance. I got myself in a hole there when I spun after the first pit stop and was just kind of fighting to get back on the lead lap, and then the last caution with like 25 to go, that kind of worked out perfectly. So I thought Andrew was gonna take it away because he had fresher tires, but it looks like he got hung up a little bit. So yeah,
it definitely looked like it was going to be a pretty good battle between you and Honeycutt there, and wound up being you all alone at the end after some unfortunate trouble for the 72 machine. But you go back to back and you head to Las Vegas next week. What are your thoughts heading into there?
Yeah, it should be a good track. I love the mile and a half tracks. Should be able to get into a rhythm there. I imagine it's going to go green most of the way. So see if we can get some clean air there and see if we can do it three-peat.
Definitely, man. Well, anybody want to thank before I let you go?
Yeah, just thank my family for letting me race. Thank you guys for broadcasting. Racers Elite for putting the league on. It's always a good time, and I love racing with these guys.
Definitely, man. Well, congrats again on your victory, and we'll see you maybe later this week or next week.
Thanks.
So that was the top three. Let's go ahead and go through the complete order of finish. Here we have Austin Smith bringing home the victory. Andrew Teft, Alex Teft, second and third. Jeremy Carter up for fourth. Joshua Neal, fifth. Dennis Kane battled back to get sixth. Kinsley Smith in seventh. Michael Smith, eighth. Eric Jensen and David Davis round out that top 10. Jesse Fox, Corey Crowell, a little hard luck there, finishing 12th. Daniel Honeycutt roughed up a little bit there and finished 13th, and Gary Madu did not start the race. So that is a wrap here at Nashville Fairgrounds. The Racers Elite drivers move to Las Vegas next week in the trucks. But the rest of this week we have tomorrow night. They're at, I believe, Indianapolis for 65 laps in the first race of the chase for the Xfinity Series. Thursday, the Next Gen Series is also at Indianapolis, but they are a couple races out from starting the chase, so we'll see how everybody moves and positions themselves for that. But from all the drivers of the Racers Elite Series and all of us here at Sim Racing Media, I want to say goodnight, and I will talk to you guys next time.